So for anybody's here, I'm doing a little bit of an experiment to see if I can get mobile countdown timers working and background and all that kind of stuff. Hey Sammy, how are you doing? I'm wondering if you can see the timer and the transparency stuff like a normal background timer, and if my audio is okay. Well, I'm here doing philosophy on the porch. Figured we'd talk about some stuff. And I've got let's see, about a minute and a half, figure a minute 40, see if some folks, how many folks show up. And we're going to talk tonight about positivity. Oh, cool, great. This was a bit of an experiment. I figured, let's go for it. Try and make it not just the phone that just sort of goes hot and starts right away. See if we get some folks. And tonight I figured I'd just talk about positivity, negativity, all that kind of stuff. Have just a conversation. Let's see. You're missing the music. Yeah, I actually thought about how can I do. I know how to do music, I think, but next time. Next time. I think it takes a little bit more of a rig to make that work on the phone. Because with a mic hooked up, it's, the phone pulls the mic and then nothing else is happening. I think I might have a way to make that happen, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Sammy, missing the music for sure. Okay. And one of my questions here is going to be, how do we do with when the timer goes away? Can I make it all go away? Good to see that I'm seeing chat here, though. That wasn't working last time, and I'm not sure why not. Okay. And, the other thing is I'm doing this little lighting rig here, which actually works decently. It's not a little teeny onboard camera mic. Oh, cool. Yeah, this. I wish they supported transparency on videos. It doesn't look like they do, so I had to kind of hack this to do the background. All right. Well, you know what? We've proven the point with the test. I'll just sort of take the timer and make it go away. We'll make the backdrop go away. And there we are. We are live. So, hi there. Welcome to Philosophy on the Porch. I thought we'd talk tonight about positivity versus negativity. Which one wins? There's all kinds of stuff here, and people take really strong positions about negativity and positivity. There are some folks who feel like positivity, that's it. You have to be positive, otherwise everything will come tumbling down. There are people who feel like negativity is the way, and that without negativity you'll never find the issues, and that you can't find the path forward. So I found this really interesting article. And I thought in the description is, does focusing on positivity or negativity create communication problems? And I think it's an interesting question. I found this article, it was in Pocketworthy by Efrat Livni about, I think it was mid-late 2019, called Stop Being Positive and Just Cultivate Neutrality for Existential Cool. Well, existential cool, that sounds like a really big word. Hey, Heather. Intro timer looked cool. Glad you caught it. Yeah, I was doing a little playing around. This is Prism Live on the phone, and I figured out a way to finally get movie stuff in here so you can do like a timer. So we're talking about positivity and negativity. I thought that the headliner on this article was really interesting. Understand that everything is tentative, and you won't be let down by your own expectations. They're both expectations. These expectations set us up. I just want to talk about a couple of quotes in here, then maybe we'll go through some details. I'm kind of wondering whether you've run into positivity and negativity in terms of expectations that were hard to fulfill, or whether they provide expectations that make it easier to fulfill things. Which of those are expectations for you? So again, a little quote from here: rarely, if ever, is the complete answer to the question considered. We're talking about the glass. Is the glass ever half full or half empty? And everybody says, are you a glass half full person? Are you a glass half empty person? Well, actually the glass isn't half full or half empty. It's both, or neither, or both at the same time, or other. And another interesting thought about this as well, the glass, half empty, half full. Well, my tea isn't quite half empty. Let's fix that. It's funny, I hold up the tea and the phone says find a face in the tea, huh? So is it half full or half empty? It's constantly changing. as you drink, it changes. Does that mean that when the glass goes from magically, I take the next sip, now it's emptier? Is it worse? Is that a problem? There's this concept of neutrality that I wonder if that actually makes this a little bit easier. Rather than thinking positivity is great and negativity is bad, or vice versa, maybe the ability to hold both in mind at the same time is the key. Because we've all been in arguments where somebody's arguing a really strong positive point and somebody argues a really negative point, and we try and decide which one is best. What if they're both right? What if they're both better? Maybe this ability to hold these two opposing things, the positive and the negative, in mind, actually gives us that neutrality that makes it possible to be at peace with either one. And I guess this is, I was in a set of fairly heated sessions today where this actually came out. This topic didn't come out of nowhere. I was in a set of sessions today where a couple of folks were really arguing strongly about positivity and negativity, and how this person's positivity was making the team bad and this person's negativity was making the team bad. But what is positivity? What is negativity? Positivity, in many ways, is about, Heather says you're draining the optimism as you drink. Whoa. Okay. Well, I suppose that's one way of looking at it. I could also look at it as I'm swallowing the optimism as I drink, so now I'm more optimistic than I was because it's not in the glass, it's in me. I don't know. I'm just kind of making it up. If we take really strong positions on positivity or negativity, like what if I were to say negativity is the only thing we can talk about today? Bring up anything positive, that's bad. Well, now all of a sudden the people who have something positive to say are feeling like, I'm not allowed to say this. This doesn't fit. It doesn't work. I don't belong. People have really strong sense of belonging, right? We all want to belong. We all want to belong to the group, to the team, to the family, to the whatever. And by saying only negative, well, that takes the positive folks, or the folks who are thinking positively about this thing at the moment, and says, you're not part of this group. If we do strong positive and say only positive thoughts are allowed here, only positive statements are allowed here, what we're doing is saying anybody who has a negative, we're going to cast them out of our group. And a group membership is a really strong impulse for us writ large. And so I think both is the power. Both is the power position, positivity. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Maybe tell me in the chat. Have you ever noticed that whenever you try and make an argument, you make an argument from either the positive or the negative, and somebody comes back with an equally powerful argument from the other side? Maybe this sounds too philosophical. The yin and the yang, there's always an in and an out, a left and a right, a positive and a negative. I have a pretty strong belief that we learn the most when we explore both, because both tell a different picture than one or the other. Well, why is it we want to pick sides? Why is it we want to pick positive, pick negative? What are some possible reasons? When you think about that, what do you think are the reasons why you might pick positivity or negativity? I've heard all kinds of explanations. I've thought about some myself. Some I've heard about positivity is, well, but by thinking positive, you make it possible for new things to happen. Because after all, without thinking positive, you can't get anywhere. From a negative perspective, well, if you don't think about the negative, you never watch out for the things that could be dangerous. You never are aware of the things that could be problems that you could fix. And those are both, I think, legitimate positions. Yeah, isn't it funny how we often pick people who represent those other sides to reflect, to consider, to work with? And as long as we stay curious, and as long as we're trying to figure out how do we get these things to work together, that brings a lot. So there's this groupishness, right? That if we swing too far to one side or too far to the other side, then all of a sudden we're casting people out of the group. And maybe that's purposeful. let's cut to the chase and be real about this. Have we ever been in a group where somebody goes way positive or way negative, and actually nobody's willing to say it out loud, but they are trying to draw a dividing line in the group to separate out the people who have one position or another? That could have value. Very often where that comes from is actually not about the group, though, right? It's about something in somebody that's saying, I don't like this. So I wonder whether positivity and negativity, could that be about us expressing our fears? That, and I'm not saying a little bit, like being a little positive, being a little negative, but when you go way over the edge, like way positive, way negative, could that be us expressing our fears about things that we aren't ready to talk about, aren't ready to think about? And so, when you hear positivity and negativity, maybe if you're in a positive discussion, try bringing the negative and see what happens. If you're in a conversation with a bunch of negativity, bring some positive and see what happens. Maybe the superpower is to recognize that either positivity or negativity is an attachment. Sammy, you're saying you feel like you hear audio static in the background. That's interesting. Okay, apologies. I'll have to go figure that out. I thought this was because I had it hooked up to a battery system before, but maybe not. I wonder if I unplug the mic. Okay, I'll unplug the mic and see if the stream's still, it'll probably kick over to regular. Hope. So here we go. And hopefully I'm back with the other mic. We'll see how that does. So both positivity and negativity can be attachments. Attachments of an outcome, sort of being attached to the positive outcome or the negative outcome. Better. Okay, thanks, Heather. That's interesting. This mic has been great for me, so I wonder if the adapter cable went wonky. The wonders of live, something's always going to happen. It's only a question of what. When I was on tour doing sound, go south, and there was always a cable involved, no matter what happens. Okay, thanks, Sammy. No audio static. I'll figure what happened there. So this idea of attachment, the attachment to outcomes, which ties back to expectations and whether we are actually setting ourselves up. Does positivity, does negativity set ourselves up when we take it to extremes? What could happen with positivity and negativity if we always held them in balance? Maybe that would be we're not attached to whether positive or negative is right. We're just using them to explore what's going on. So for instance, okay, I'm just going to pull something, rabbit out of the hat here, right? Positivity and negativity, right? It's always better to use an external mic. Well, until it blows up. So be it. So there's one other quote I wanted to pull from this article. This choosiness, even when positive, lacks truthiness. It misses the fact that invariably everything is a bit of everything in differing degrees, and we don't know what anything means when it's happening. It was really distressing the first time I read that. We don't know what anything means when it's happening. But how many times, like all the time, right? You're in a conversation and we're talking back and forth, and that night, or you wake up in the morning, or in the shower, or at breakfast, or the next day, all of a sudden, that's what was happening there. So, yeah, does positivity, to the question that I posed in the description, does positivity or negativity win when you do versus? Which one is better? I think the answer is not which one is better. Are the winners. When you do versus is where you start getting into the losers. So thanks for being here. Great to spend a night on the porch with you and bear through with some of these experiments. I'm glad they worked out reasonably well. If you have any other thoughts, please bring them in the comments, and maybe I'll do another philosophy on the porch sometime soon. Have a good night.